WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively into Preakness Week here this week. We're into Adley Rutschman time right now. But this guy here usually has money on the mind and investment on the mind, and sometimes even the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness on the mind as he went to Churchill Downs a couple weeks ago. But he is one of my remaining friends in my life that still is hockey obsessed. Most of you know it was going on 4 years ago now that Barry Trotz won the Cup. He was let go. I literally have not watched the Caps play in 4 years after being a pretty hardcore fan for the better part of 40 years. Leonard Raskin is here. I'm wearing my Raskin Global shirt. I'm not the guy like rubbing it in on the Caps fans one way or another because the Caps won a cup. We all shared in that. We all had a great time. But it is a little different here of late now, isn't it, as Ovechkin is aging at this point. It's a good thing they won a cup.
They're absolutely right, because if they hadn't won, fan base would be totally screaming their heads off. It's tough. 4 years in a row since the Cup. First round, out. And I think an interesting thing this year in particular, it seems to me it was a little more apparent against a team that is young and fast that for 60 minutes they just maybe couldn't keep up. They played decently. Look, the last 3 games of the series, they lost in 6. They were ahead 2-1, lost. They were ahead 3-0, lost. They were ahead 2-1, lost. And all the losses came by being swamped in the third period and overtime. And they just couldn't keep up. So it's good to have experience. It's good to have age. If you look in I don't know where these records are held. Somebody holds them, they know things. They say the Caps are the oldest aggregate team on the ice. And I think the youngins are sweeping them over. I'd like to see Ovi catch Gretzky with the all-time scoring record. I think he will. But unless they get a couple fast, hardy young guys to go along with, I think it'll be without a cup before he goes, although I'd love to see him win another one. I just don't think it's possible.
I got full disclosure. I spent last Saturday with Barry Trotz, spent the whole day with him. It was literally the Last Supper. It was the day before he got fired. I forgot my toothbrush. I forgot my toothbrush at his house. I had to go back on Mother's Day to retrieve my toothbrush, my electric toothbrush. So the next day he gets fired. They went to conference championships up there, right?
Yep.
So when you're talking about fulfilling the promise of giving a coach a $20 million deal, Tavares left, all that they did accomplish in the island over the last 4 years versus where the Capitals are. I need to ask you, rich people. I know rich people. I know some wealthy people. The management of money and success when it comes to sports, and when you take that money and that excess and that, as you like to say, abundance, great Tony Robbins word, abundance, and invest in a team, then you can either be Dan Snyder,
yep,
or you can be Peter Angelos, or you can be Ted Leonsis, or you can be whoever you want to be, right?
Yep. Your money.
You can be Mark Cuban, your money. It is amazing how little respect and humility Ted Leonsis has had in the aftermath of leadership. And I was going to be an ass and say to you, first round exit. I was going to say, maybe it's the coaching. Maybe it's the leadership.
You know what?
Maybe the leadership had a point in this because I know Trotz didn't have better players in New York. I know that.
Look,
he didn't have better players.
I hearken back. I look at 2 things in my sporting world that shock me. Not a lot shocks me in sports, and there is apparently, no allegiance and no intelligence, obviously, somewhere also. But letting Barry Trotz leave after winning the Stanley Cup because he demanded, quote unquote, more money, when you just won that thing and you have the perfect setup to do it again, at least once, maybe twice. I know it's hard, but leadership accounts. And he had, look, when you got Ovechkin, Backstrom, Oshie, one of the things, whenever you're close to the team, right? When we're here, you don't realize the power of those stars, and the management of them is critical. And Trotz obviously figured it out because he took them to the Cup and they won. So it wasn't just playing great, it was coaching great. It was leadership great. It was what's the word I'm looking for? You don't motivate these guys. You inspire them. That's the word I'm looking for.
And you manage them, and
That's
you
right.
manage
That's what I'm
fatigue
saying.
and effort and ability and
That's right.
strategy and timing.
And he did it. And then I guess he asked for $1.50 too much, and they said no, which is just dumb. I hearken back to
what he
in
wanted.
another
By the way,
world.
I don't want to be interrupted because I want to let you go on, but I
No,
do
go
want
ahead.
to inject because I talked to Barry about it at length for
Yep.
the first time since it happened,
Yeah.
and it was just real. It wasn't complicated. It was
No.
there wasn't anything complicated. There was an extension, a handshake, and a
Yep.
goodwill
Yep.
of saying, "This is what I'm worth.
Yep.
This is what I just did for you. This
Pay
is
me.
what we just overcame. Pay me fair. Just pay
Right.
me what these guys that I did nothing for are
That's
willing
right.
to pay me.
That's
Pay
right.
me what I'm worth."
It's a market. Look, here it is. We're talking stocks. We're always talking money. The price of a stock, all the known and knowable information is in the price of the stock, and the price is fair. It's based on company profits. It's based on future projected company cash flow. It's based on management. It's based on operation. And the world looks out and sees the price. Now, what I like is when people say, oh, well, you paid too much for that, or I sold that for too little. I got away with it. Well, you know what? Real estate, stocks, it's what the market will bear. I'm a willing buyer and a willing seller, willing to agree on a price is what a stock is worth. And Barry was worth what the marketplace said he was worth. And Ted, for whatever reason, said no. And I think that was a foolish move. And as I said, to me, it harkens back to another stupid move. And I'm not in management and I'm not in ownership, so it's not my deal. But I saw in Tampa with you, I saw the Ravens win a Super Bowl. And then I saw Trent Dilfer thrown on the pile of heap of trash and Elvis Gerbach brought in. And I thought to myself when that happened, you got to be kidding me. I don't care if he's the second coming of Johnny Unitas. You just won a Super Bowl with a guy. How many teams throw away the Super Bowl winning quarterback the year after? I thought that was dumb, and it proved to be dumb. And there is something to be said for cohesion, management, operation, team structure. You know, we talk to people about portfolios, and in that portfolio, one of the things we talk about, we have these must answer questions, 20 must answer questions that you have to know so that you understand how to invest your money. And one of those questions is, do you understand the value and benefit of diversification in your portfolio? And another one is, do you understand what you're doing and why? When you add something or take something out of your portfolio, there is science behind that. It's not just let's throw some investments together and see what happens. If that was the case, just ask all the people that bought all the tech stocks in the last year and ask all the people that bought all the crypto in the last year how they're feeling this morning, down 70% on their assets. Down
I had
50%.
a friend of mine run into me at a party on Sunday and mention crypto to me. And along political lines, like trying to have a political debate with me about crypto. And I'm like, it was a money designed to be anti-government, to keep your like. How long? So you want the government to fall?
Right. So
what are
here's the
you
thing.
doing here? What are you investing in if you're investing in crypto?
Right. Well, you're investing in a hope and a dream. It's like art. You know, you're hoping. Crypto. Look, people have called crypto, to move off the hockey thing for a moment. People have called crypto a Ponzi scheme, because all you're doing is buying something somebody else didn't want, and you're buying it for more than they paid for it, hopefully for them, less than they paid for it for you. It is not, in my opinion, a Ponzi scheme. It is a airbag strategy. There's no there. So if it was a Ponzi scheme, nobody would know what's going on. Now, I think a lot of consumers don't know what's going on, but the people running it and the people at the top of it and the people in the middle of it, everybody better know what's going on. If you buy it, you better know what's going on. There's no there.
Well, what are you buying? Tell me, if I'm buying $1 of crypto, if I buy $1 of Coke or Pepsi or whatever, right. I know what I'm getting, right?
You're buying a company that produces a product or service that people want, and they're willing to pay for it. I have plants, I have equipment, I have services, I provide a service, people want to buy it. That's corporate, that's stock. If I'm buying crypto, I'm buying air. The hope is that this air is worth more in the future because somebody wants it than what I paid for it.
Like the NFTs,
it's an NFT, it's
like
air.
fake autographs.
It's
like,
air.
Right, okay.
So the thing is, but the reason I say it's not a scheme is because you know what you're doing. You're buying hope. You're buying air. And if you want to buy air for more than somebody else paid for air, you can do that. But do it eyes wide open. A Ponzi scheme is when everybody's being fooled about it. These guys aren't trying to fool anybody, I don't think. But it's out there with celebrity endorsements all over the place, like it's something and it's nothing. And that's the way it is. Now, that doesn't mean it's not something.
Well, it is something. There's no doubt about that.
That's right.
Leonard Raskin is here. He manages money. He is Raskin Global, financial wisdom. You can learn a lot out at Raskin Global about your money and taking better care of your money and things you can do to dream with your money, including going to the Preakness this week or going and seeing Natalie Rutschman. Or let's just get back to hockey and leadership just for a minute, because I don't want to lead you from where you were.
Let's get back to Barry Trotz is available and the Caps need him.
Oh, okay. That's where you want to bring it to now.
and if Ted wasn't going to lead with his ego and Barry wasn't all into retiring, this would be a tremendous opportunity, I believe, for the two to get together and recognize that they are needed together.
Oh, Barry doesn't think he made a mistake at all. Just so you know. Barry took the money, went off to Long Island, managed the thing, and got fired this week. He's got a year of free money. I'm talking about they were Ted. Fools for firing him, right? Literally.
Both were. I'm talking about Ted. If Ted can lead without ego and Barry's willing to take a chance at coaching again, I don't know that there's a better opportunity for him than to come back to the town that loves him, the guys that love him. I mean, if you didn't see it this year, because you're not watching, when the Caps played the Islanders, it was all love. I mean, Barry was hugging all over Ovechkin and Backstrom's hugging all over Barry. And yeah, of course, that's my point. So if they can all get past the Ted, past the ego stuff, and well, you got a GM in there, I guess, in the middle. But with all that being said, I don't think he'd do it. I think he wants to retire. I mean, why the heck? But
in retrospect, I'm not sure the problem was McClellan. Just so you know, for me, the problem was Ted and money. The problem was we don't pay coaches that. We don't think coaches are worth that.
Well, then what was the skating with that
You're
thing?
Paying your center $20 million a year, and you think your coaches, you have a cap on your coach only makes $2 million a year, and after that, we don't pay coaches more than that.
They were skating with that thing called a cup. If they're skating with that thing called a cup, the coach was worth what you paid him. And as we were saying, just like a stock, it's what the market will bear. And if he wasn't worth that, he couldn't have gone somewhere else and gotten that. And he did.
There it is. Leonard Raskin is here. Let's talk some more money and investments this time of year, spring into summer. The crypto thing, a great stepping off point for what not to do. Kind of sort of like when I bring my money to you, you're not putting me in crypto.
No, and if somebody that's advising you is, I would question them significantly on what they understand about it. If they understand blockchain, if they know what it even means. One of the things you can look to back in the long distant past was a gold rush. Remember the gold rush? You learned about it in school.
1849, they named the team after it.
Yeah, right. So you learned about the gold rush. Well, here's the thing. Some people, this many, made money in the gold rush from gold. You know who made money in the gold rush? The people selling the picks, the shovels, the trains, the bags, the boxes, the wheelbarrows, all the people that sold the stuff that it took to get the gold. So you got to find this crypto. You got to do this electronic thing. It's really weird on your computer. You got to mine some gold. There's crypto. There's lots of places that are involved in the crypto scene that you can invest in that are real. And you don't have to invest in the crypto. Look, being from here, we both remember all too well. What was that name on the stadium?
PSI Net.
Yes, I know. PSI Net. What did they do? Nobody knows. Did they ever make money?
To this day, I don't know what they did. I don't think they ever explained what they did.
So now you go out to California, and there was this place called the Staples Center, right? And there was another place being built, this LA amazing stadium. And what is it today? The crypto.com park or whatever the hell.
It's the crypto arena, right? Crypto.com.
Right. The crypto.com. What is that? That is crazy nonsense.
Arena, right? I'm driving. I was there for Super Bowl. Everything, every party, every athlete party, every Super Bowl party was crypto sponsored.
And just you wait and see when PSI net comes off and M&T goes up.
Well, M&T
crypto,
does something. They're like a bank. I know.
they're
What
like a bank, and crypto is all the rage and it's all the money. And there's all these different cryptos you can invest in. You know, the irony of ironies. Here's the irony of ironies. If you look it up, you'll see that there's one of these cryptos called stablecoin. Stablecoin is its name. What does that insinuate? Stable coin.
That it's worth more than a Bitcoin would be, because a bit's not worth a whole lot.
And it's stable. It's going to hold its value. I think it's down 90% or 80%. Something. It's gone. It's gone. If you've never watched this, here's the greatest thing you and our listeners, viewers should watch. It was a scene on South Park. You can do it. You can watch it on YouTube. It's called "And It's Gone." The guy, can't remember his name, took little Stanley to the bank with $100 check that his grandmother gave him. I think it was for his birthday or for Christmas or something. And he wanted to put it in the bank. He wanted to teach him about interest and investing. And he gave it to the banker. And the banker says, "And it's gone." It's the greatest thing. It's like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. You want to buy your crypto air, you go right ahead, and it's gone. People's net worth went from billions to, not that they're suffering, to millions overnight because they invested in crypto. And here's the thing, just like anything else, most laymen, most consumers don't invest in these things early on. They invest in them after it's all the rage. They didn't hear about Amazon at a penny. They hear about Amazon at its all-time high, and they say, "I got to get some of that." And then Amazon tanks, and then they lose. So investors consistently lose because they chase hot returns. They think history is a good measure of the future. Nothing is further from the truth, except if a company is great and doing great things and you love what they do and you think they're forward thinking, it's a great company. And that's something you might want to invest in. Now, investing in a company individually is kind of scary and kind of gambling, because you never know what that company's doing and what's going on behind the scenes, like a company called Enron or a company called MCI. I believe the Capital One Arena used to be the MCI Center or something. And then it wasn't, because MCI wasn't and Enron wasn't. But the board told you, the CEO told you they were doing great. He told you to invest all your money in the company. And then a week later, he was in jail. So individual companies, tough. Crypto, air. You'd be better off buying Barry Trotz futures.
Well, there you go. I like a Barry Trotz, even if it's just him like retiring and playing golf or whatever. Leonard Raskin is here. He invests money. Is there a point where the Adley Rutschman thing is going to get to you when?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
well, look,
okay. So they won a couple games last week. And here's what
I've
I've noticed about.
They had a good run. A couple guys got hurt. They went to Detroit and got smoked by a team that's not that good.
Here's what I noticed about the Orioles. This is just me being a washed-up sports talk show host, 31 years of doing this, right? When they win a couple of games, everybody's on the timeline. They're winning. When they beat St. Louis last week, a couple games, they're turning the corner. There's future. Then they get swept and you can't score a run. And now it's, you don't hear about them when they lose. You hear about them when they win. So, God bless them. I hope they win more than they've been winning, right? I mean, I don't mind hearing about them. The one thing I will say is this has been a long time coming, this Adley Rutschman thing. And if the people that are remaining in the fold, going to games and watching the games and being engaged with baseball and Oriole baseball, if they're not coming to see Adley Rutschman, I don't know what they're waiting on, right? Are we really waiting on a pennant race? We're a long way away from that. So if you do still love the Orioles, this should be the on switch, right?
He's coming. And look, if he can hit and drive in a couple runs, they could win. I was with a guy last week who, speaking of speculating gambling, is a gambler, loves gambling and freely admits it, is a gambler. It's his deal. And he took a bet before the season. He took a bet on the Orioles. So again, I'm not a gambler. I don't understand all this, but I do understand over under. I get over under. He took a bet on the Orioles for over under 62.5 wins. That means the house is betting and half the people are going to bet they're going to not win 62.5 or more.
He took the over.
Half. What's that?
He took the over or the under?
He took the over.
All right. So
he's 62.5.
He's betting on prosperity is what he's doing.
Exactly. He thought they looked good beginning of the year. He thought the pitching could hold up. He thought Rutschman would be here, and he thought they'd win 70.
He would have been better investing in crypto.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, man, the 62.5 over looks promising. They're on a 70 pace or something like that. But then they go into Detroit. Pitching's amazing. They lose 3-0. They lose whatever. I don't know. I was paying attention Friday night. Was it Friday night? Friday night, I think. First inning, 2 on, 1 out, no runs. 7th, 8th, and 9th left the bases loaded. 7th, 8th, and 9th. You just need a hit. Couldn't get a hit.
Well, in a rebuilding thing here, the thought is stay engaged, keep giving people a reason to be engaged, bring the catcher up, bring one of these pitchers up in a couple of weeks, and every 5th day he'll take the ball. I mean, very, very disappointing about John Means, because I think that for your buddy, that was a ticket for them getting a start every 5th day to get them to the 6th inning. That would have been a nice little push for getting the over. And I think that the fact that he's gone.
Their pitching's doing okay, and the bullpen's holding up. Right now, they're not hitting. They can't hit. And situationally, they can't hit. So you got to score. You can't get shut out a couple times. You can't score 1 run and win. I think the last few series, they haven't scored. They had like 1 or 2 games where they scored a lot, and the rest of the games, not so much.
Well, yeah, and that's going to continue to be an issue. They moved the fence back, so the pitching's going to get better. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Leonard Raskin is here. He invests money. He helps folks help their American dream. Leonard Raskin can be found at Raskin Global. He can also be found at the front of Baltimore Positive, and probably be found at the Preakness this week. Is it you going to go Triple Crowning or no?
I'm disappointed that our Kentucky Derby winner isn't coming to Baltimore.
Well, I think everybody's disappointed in that, right?
It's a bad day for the Preakness. I mean, I think a lot of people will still come out. I think it'll still be a big draw, but the Preakness is all about, can we get a Triple Crown winner? It's not about, it is about the Preakness. Okay, look, it's about the Preakness, but it's not about the Preakness. It's about, are we on our way to a Triple Crown? And we all know going in, the answer is no.
Yeah. And I'm going to be talking to Donna Brothers this week. I'm going to be talking to Marty McGee, Dick Girardi, Mike Tirico. They're all going to be here this week talking about it.
Who's the guy head of the Stadium Authority? What's his name? Forgot his name. I saw him on the news the other day.
You talking about Terry Hazeltine from the World Cup group?
No. The dude that's running the rebuild of Pimlico.
Okay, keep going.
I met him. Really sharp guy. Great ideas. Doing great stuff down there. Making it happen. They're gonna.
Are you talking about Michael Friends or Tom Kelso? Who are you talking about?
No, neither. That's neither of their names. I don't remember his name. It'll come to me after we're done.
Well, Tom Kelso is the chairman of the Stadium Authority.
Yeah, then he's not the chairman, but he's like executive VP, something, whatever. Anyway, he's the one that everybody talks to when there's time to talk about what's going on with the Preakness, with the track.
Bill Cole's coming on with me this week from Baltimore City Council, who has been very, very. Bill knows more than anybody about. Bill's been on the front line of this when a lot of people locally are fighting. Screw him. Let him take the race out of here. I don't think any of us believe that's a good idea.
Crazy. No, it's a 3-year deal. They're going to knock it down. I thought they were knocking it down this year, but apparently they're not knocking it down until next year. They're turning the track 30 degrees. Then they're going to smash the grandstands and the place, and then they're going to do a whole new thing. And somehow during 24 and 5, they're still going to have the Preakness there while they're rebuilding all this. I don't know how many fans are going to be able to show up when there's no grandstand, but we'll see.
Well, there's not really going to be a grandstand. It's more like this glass thing.
This huge thing. Yeah.
It's like a pavilion.
It's like the LA Stadium. They're going to call it the Pimlico Crypto or something. Who knows? But no, I'm not going to be going to the Preakness. I am going to be watching on TV. Got a little business coming up that's going to take me out of town for a couple of days next week, and it's going to be tough to be there Saturday and then get away for a couple of days. Just too much going on. But it's a beautiful thing, and I was hoping for a Triple Crown. I wanted to see the long shot put in an effort, but apparently he's going to go Belmont and not come to Baltimore. I saw a very terrible meme. Speaking of just a one-off funny, it showed horses in bulletproof vests on the internet. That was very sad about coming to Baltimore. Horses coming to Baltimore.
Yeah, well, we had our own issues in Buffalo over the weekend with guns, and that we'll save that for next week. Leonard Raskin is here. He is Raskin Global. He attended the Kentucky Derby. No offense to the Preakness, but if you go to the Derby or the Preakness, you did the Derby. I tip my cap and call you a winner, but I do want people to support the Preakness here.
Absolutely.
I don't want the
Gotta
race
go.
going anywhere. So
Gotta go. No, I don't want it leaving this town. This is the place where the Preakness belongs.
Well, we're going to be doing plenty of Preakness talk here all week. Leonard Invest Money, you can find him out at Raskin Global. But more than that, he gives advice on your American dream, not his American dream, what you want to do with your money, and makes it very, very personal. And I'm very appreciative of his time and efforts in regard to my financial situation. Leonard, I appreciate you. We're going to get you next week. We will have a new Preakness champion. There won't be a Derby winner next week. How about that? All right?
There we go.
You and me and Adley Rutschman, Camden Yards. Let's go, Orioles.
Here we go. I'm ready.
I am
I'm ready.
Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570. Towson, Baltimore. Stay out of the crypto and stay into BaltimorePositive.com.